Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel PHYSICSSIRJEE. Today I'm going to present to you a question on magnetism, where a particle, a charged particle, would be dropped from a height h under gravity in the presence of a magnetic field. Okay, and let's try to see what kind of path it's actually going to take. So it's a multiple choice question. So let me present to you the formal wording of the question. So instead of solving it in a usual manner, I would request you to try to understand that there are alternative ways of solving this. So as a bonus, during this particular video, I'll touch upon the standard method also, but along with that, we'll be looking at the two shortcuts, not just one. We'll be looking at two shortcuts to solve this problem. Okay, right. So let's go ahead and see the formal wording. A proton of mass m and charge q is released from rest from the top of a building at point A and at height h, right, in the presence of a uniform gravitational field, obviously downward, and magnetic field which is into the plane. Both are uniform. The height of the building h is chosen in such a way, it seems, that the proton during its flight just touches the ground for the first time at point C. So maybe see somewhere here, it tries to curve in the presence of magnetic field. Neglect air resistance and mark the correct statement. So there are four options given. The first one is about the distance traveled from A to C, wherever it touches, and horizontal separation between points A and C, right? Horizontal is this direction. Velocity of particle at point C is being asked in the third one, and the fourth option is about time of flight of the particle from A to C. Okay, so try to pause this video. Using whichever method you actually already have with you, try attempting this question, and then you proceed forward to the three solutions that I'm going to give, the standard one and the two shortcuts. So here is the standard way. So I have recalled a standard problem actually that appeared in previous JEE papers. I think it was before 2000s, in 1990s, as far as I remember. There was a question in subjective papers of IITJEE, which is also given in the famous book that I would always recommend to IITJEE aspirants, right? So it's a must and should solve problem book, which is the H.C. Verma's volume 1 and volume 2. This problem is from the volume 2 in page number 228. It's a solved example, nicely solved by H.C. Verma sir. Okay, so you could see that in this particular problem, the electron was released from rest in the presence of electric field and a perpendicular magnetic field. Electric field is downward, whereas magnetic field, just like in our problem, is into the plane. So instead of going down, obviously because it's an electron, it actually curves up. Okay, so the kind of curve you get here and in the one that I have given is the same. It's just that the electric field is replaced in my question with the gravitational field. It's just that's it. Okay, so what the usual solution, you could see the length of the solution. What it does is it takes the Lorentz force acting on a charged particle both due to QE and Q into V cross B force, and writes the kinematics equations, and then does integrate that thing twice to get the y coordinate, which is this coordinate in the y direction. Okay, so y coordinate comes out to be function of time, like you could see, right? In case you're not able to see it here, try to get the book and you will be able to see that this is the function, which is a periodic function. What it tries to tell you is that that particular curve which he has drawn here actually goes and keeps repeating itself. Actually, it will be something like this. Okay, it looks like a semicircle, but it is not, because you all know that this is not an equation of a semicircle. On close investigation, that's what our first shortcut would be about. It would be actually a equation of a cycloid in the plane of x and y. Okay, so another rotational mechanics problem in which this similar kind of a curve could be seen was be utilized by us as the first shortcut. Okay, so from the previous part, you could clearly observe that the value of omega, which is the repetitive angular frequency of this function, could be sorted out by some calculations here. Right, value of omega he has written somewhere here. You could see this qb by m, right? Q is the charge. Along with that, the velocity with which the particle actually becomes the maximum value of the velocity in y direction would be a ratio of E and B. Okay, so all these factors can be utilized in the rotational analog. Okay, so in the rotational analog, that is a rolling analogy concept, the previous JEE challenge can be picturized in the upper part, as you could see, and I have converted into our challenge diagram, which is in the reverse because of the gravity that is there. So the actual problem that you saw in the previous page would be a curve which is going like this, which could be nothing but the trajectory of a point which is at the bottom of a rolling disc in the rightward direction. So if the disc is here, the bottommost point, as the disk rolls in the forward direction, actually traces this particular path, which is by integration again of mechanics, you will be able to sort out the similar looking equation as in the previous question, that is y is equal to y naught into 1 minus cos omega t kind of a function. It's not very difficult, it will just standard result. During that standard result, you will realize because of rolling, whenever this point actually completes its motion and comes back to x-axis again, the distance traveled in the rightward direction would be, because VCM is equal to r omega, right? So VCM in the horizontal direction will travel the same value of distance or length, which is equivalent to the r omega's angular length that it will be traveling. So it will travel 2 pi r. It's almost like the 2 pi r is rolled out on as a carpet on the floor. So this horizontal separation between 2 points would be simply 2 pi r. Not only that, a further investigation into the length of the track, or length of the trajectory I should say, would be actually coming out to be 8 r. This entire thing you can again prove by integration. It's a standard result that you should be actually expected to know. This is 8 r. Okay, now which means I would say if the disk is rolling with an angular velocity omega in this problem, it should be related to QB by m of the magnetic field problem, and the velocity of center of mass of the disk should be E by B. I said in the previous example, you can pick that one up. And the radius of this disk, okay, is nothing but from VCM and R omega relation, VCM equal to R omega. If VCM is this and omega is that, the ratio of this will give you the radius of the disk. This I'll transform into our gravity problem. Only difference is the gravity can be replaced by an effective electric field in the downward direction, which is mg divided by q. Mg divided by q. You can assume there is a electric field in our proton problem. So this point, which is at the top of this particular diagram, is the point A, which is the top of our building. Okay, so from the building's top, if this particle is released, as you could see, this will actually start curving, and this is your point, not P. You could say in the diagram it's given as C. Okay, so this is your C. So this is the trajectory. That means the height h has been chosen such that it just grazes the surface and then moves up. Okay, so this is your height h, which is nothing but, can you see from the figure, it should be 2r radius of the particular disk. So I'll borrow all the equations from there. Omega is the same in our problem also. VCM, which is equal to the value of E by B, but E has to be replaced with effective gravity value. So I just wrote E by B here with mg by q substituted. As also the same issue with R, which is VCM by omega. I just take the ratio of these two, I'll end up getting something of this particular sort. Okay, since h is nothing but 2r, you can actually substitute the value in a quantity called root gh. Why am I doing root gh? Because in the options there are quantities like root 2 gh, root gh. So it's better if I can estimate what's the value of root gh. I just substituted the value of h I got, which is equal to h is 2r, right? So I'll just substitute the value of 2r into this, which is this 2r, and I ended up getting that this is equivalent to root 2 of VCM value. Okay, which means the value of velocity at P is nothing but 2 VCM, right? That is very simple because it is at the top of the, when the rolling disk actually rolls, the topmost point would have a velocity of 2 VCM. Here the rolling disk is rolling on a ceiling. Okay, so at the bottommost point here, there will be a rightward velocity of VCM plus R omega, which is nothing but 2 VCM. Since this 2 into VCM, you could actually see that is nothing but 2 times of, you could see VCM is root GH by 2. So I substitute root GH by 2 into 2 outside, which makes it root 2 GH. It's a straightforward calculation if you know all these results from the rotational analogy. Okay, right. There is another alternate method which is for Olympiad aspirants. It's not part of your JEE syllabus, but it's a very neat trick even for JEE syllabus students if they can spare some time and read a topic from this particular golden book. Okay, so the basic laws of electromagnetism by I.E. Rideau, a chapter of 8 in which these particular pages, if you have just written the reference, tells you a very intricate detail about electric and magnetic fields being frame dependent. The electric and magnetic fields are actually frame dependent. So if we are moving with respect to a particular frame and watch the values of electric and magnetic field, the transformation values would be given by these two expressions. So there's already certain number of pages are there. So in case you want to read it, and you need to go through this, and then you should be able to get, these are not generally done by the JEE aspirants. Okay, so these transformations, so you could see if E is the value of the field in general, and if V naught is the frame of reference velocity, then in that frame, the new field that would be seen by the observer would be given by E plus V naught bar cross B bar. On similar lines, the B transformed value would be this expression. Remember, this actually is a special cases. Transformations would be much more complicated. We have taken a very special case of the value of velocity of frame being very small compared to light. Okay. Not only that, in our problem, what actually happens is this expression, this particular term almost becomes 0, and therefore you could actually say that B transformed value should be almost similar. Now, why am I taking this? In this alternative method, what I will try to do is I'll try to move in a particular frame which cancels off the electric field. Okay, right? So that means the gravitational field which is downward, I will try to think of a electric field in the upward direction, right? If I move with a proper frame, if I choose a frame and watch this particular video, then in that I would, if I am able to generate an electric field in the upward direction, then the force of electric field and force of gravity can cancel each other, and then it becomes a pure magnetic field problem we'll comfortably be able to solve. So my agenda is, in the given question, electric field is not there, but I want a transformed E prime, which can cancel the gravity. Okay, so I've just substituted E is equal to 0 here. I need to choose a velocity V naught bar such that this E prime bar is against gravity and cancels gravity. So we'll take a frame moving with this V naught bar such that E bar is upward to cancel the G prime's effect. Now, in order to get E prime bar in the upward direction with a B already given inward, you need to move towards right. Okay, you can clearly, easily see. Just pause the video, try to convince yourself with a right hand thumb rule that this combination will produce an E prime with this formula in the upward direction. So the strength of that velocity should be simply related by the E and B's relations. Okay, E prime should be exactly cancelling mg. So I'll be able to get that. So once I cancel that and watch this video, remember someone is moving towards right and he's thinking only magnetic field is there because he cancels the gravity. He will see the particle which is actually dropped to be moving towards left. Let me draw that. In his frame of reference, he would see an opposite velocity of equivalent value V naught. And now this becomes, according to him, a simple problem of a particle thrown in the leftward direction under the effect of magnetic field. You might be wondering, the building will come in the way. Even building is moving towards left according to this frame of observer. So this will become a pure circular path in that frame of reference, and it will be keeping on circulating here, which makes it very simple. Okay, this point now will become your point of grazing. Okay, so you could clearly see in this problem the value of h should be 2r, and the value of r is mv naught by bq. And you can substitute for V naught. How do you get the value of V naught? V naught is E prime by B. And what is E prime? E prime should be that mg by q. You remember, mg should be cancelled by this q. So everything then substituted, you'll get all the results in a much shorter form. That's the bonus you'll get for knowing this particular method, and all the rest of the things, because the time taken from here to here is the half circular motion with omega is qb by m and time is pi by omega. You'll get pi m by bq. So going back to the question, you would realize in the options, the correct answers, either by standard method or rolling method or even the transformation method, you should end up getting that the distance traveled definitely would be equal to 4r, right? Half the distance is traveled, right? You can see in here, it is only this much distance or this much distance, which is 4r, and 4r is nothing but 2h. So the first answer is correct. This is 2h. Horizontal separation, very carefully you observe, horizontal separation is this separation, right, which is half of this distance, so which is pi r. Pi r is related to pi h by 2. Okay, because h is 2r, pi r should be I h by 2. Okay, so this 2h is definitely not correct. This is a wrong answer. Okay, it should contain a pi. Similarly, we ended up getting in both the methods the velocity of the particle to be root 2 gh. It's just a coincidence that it comes out to be root 2 gh. And you can also try to estimate this root 2 gh using work energy theorem, saying that by the time it grazes to the ground, magnetic field shouldn't do any work. So the work is actually done by only velocity. So maybe option C, you don't need any of the methods I gave. So you can just mark, but for option A, you need all these things. So you could have arrived at option C even using work energy theorem and using the fact that magnetic field never does work. It's the gravity that does work. Okay, so C is fine. And time of flight, we end up getting without the 2. I think we ended up getting pi m by bq. This 2 is not there, so that's a wrong answer. Okay, so this is not a correct one. So I hope you enjoyed the concept here. And just to ensure that you give it a try about reading this particular book, I'll give you 2 or 3 days more time so to master this method, and I promise you that it will be, even though it is not there for JEE Advanced, it is a very interesting method to solve problems in single steps. Okay, so as a motivation, I would like to produce a video on a tough looking question in Pathfinder. This is the very tough question from Pathfinder. If you use both the standard method, it's really tough. Even when you use the rolling disk situation, it's still a long solution. But if you use the transformation method, that if you move, there is an electric field here in this problem. If you read, okay, carefully read it. No, sorry, gravitational field is there, just like the building question. Then if I can choose a frame of reference, even in this problem, which cancels off the gravity and makes this cycloidal path into something like a circular path, and the problems can be solved, I promise you, in single step. So that is what I'll produce the next video upon. Okay, so try to go through the concept that I just now talked about, and then we'll see you in this next video. Okay, right. So please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. If you're a regular visitor, you know the quality of content that you are being subjected to. So please make sure that you do share it and try to get more and more subscribers to my channel. Thank you, and see you in the next video.